right, good Sunday evening, South Mississippi. Meteorologist Taylor Graham here in the newsroom once again to give you an update on our cold Sunday night forecast. Temperatures have already dropped quite a bit, and we are easily going to be getting below freezing by Monday morning. The sky is clear, the wind is calm. You may have also noticed today that it has been very dry. The humidity has been very low. We don't have a lot of moisture in the air, and so all three of those factors are leading into a cold night tonight. In fact, I expect everybody to be in the 20s by early Monday morning. And starting right around midnight, a lot of us are going to be at or below freezing. And I'll show you in a moment, there are several of us a little farther inland that have already dropped a few degrees below freezing. So no doubt about it, a cold night up ahead. With temperatures this low, people, pets, and plants definitely need to be protected. If your pipes are not well insulated, you may want to protect those as well if you haven't already done so, especially farther inland. There's one good thing, it's not going to be overly windy, so we don't have much of a wind chill, but because the wind is calm, that's actually allowing us to cool down pretty efficiently. So low temperatures inland by tomorrow morning near the sunrise are going to be in the mid-20s. Those of us on the coast, more so mid to upper 20s. Thankfully, school is out of session tomorrow thanks to MLK Day, so at least you're not going to have to wait at the bus stop with it being really cold. But if you have to be going into work tomorrow, just a heads up in the morning. It's going to be very, very chilly. I would say downright cold. Tomorrow afternoon, not too bad. We're looking at highs in the mid-50s, a little bit warmer than what we had today. Should be a beautiful Monday, lots of sunshine, blue sky. Even though it's not going to be warming us up too much in the sun, it should be feeling pretty nice. Currently in Gulfport, we are at 35. The wind is calm. Dew points right now are in the mid-20s. Earlier today, they were in the teens, so we've had the humidity or the moisture uptick just a tiny bit, but the air is still pretty dry. Anytime we have dew points in the teens and 20s, if you're prone to getting dry skin or chapped lips, that's certainly not helping you out. So very dry air in place. Sky is clear, wind is calm. It's a really good recipe for us to cool down quite a bit. Looks like we've already dropped into the upper 20s in Perkinston, Poplarville at 29 already. Last we checked in Wiggins and Lucedale, still the mid-30s, but I would say at this point, we're probably a few degrees cooler than that. Keesler Air Force Base coming in a little warmer, thanks to influence from the water, sitting at 42, but elsewhere, we are getting pretty close to freezing, even along the coast. Now, compared to this time yesterday, it's a good bit colder. We're running about 10 degrees colder or so compared to this time yesterday, even much colder over in Moss Point and Pascagoula. I think you get the gist of it. It's cold outside, and it is going to be very cold waking up on Monday if you have to be out and about before the sunrise. Now, across the Gulf Coast right now, things are nice and quiet very early this morning, and we're talking about 3 to 4 o'clock this morning. There were reports of some flurries around South Mississippi. They didn't last long. They didn't accumulate here in South Mississippi, but our neighbors to our east and parts of the Florida Panhandle, even into parts of Pensacola and in southern Georgia, we're able to see some snowfall today. And in fact, parts of Georgia, southeast Alabama were able to pick up a few inches of snow out of this. It didn't last too long. Temperatures climbed up above freezing, but very early this morning, if you were awake and outside, you may have seen a few snowflakes, but of course did not accumulate here along South Mississippi. So we are at 35 right now in Gulfport at the airport, 30 up in Memphis. It is much, much colder up into the upper Midwest. Chicago, where they're playing that football game right now, it is brutally cold at 16, also pretty windy, and they've got some snow up there as well. So a good reminder, it could always be colder. Warm spot right now seems to be Miami at 61, 68 also in Phoenix. But Old Mail winter is certainly making an appearance this weekend here in South Mississippi. So starting off tomorrow morning, we'll be in the 20s. By the time we get to lunchtime tomorrow, we'll start to warm up into the 50s. We're topping out in the mid-50s tomorrow, a little bit below normal, but not too bad, especially with that sunshine. Another round of freezing temperatures is expected Monday night into Tuesday. We'll wake up once again right around freezing along the coast. I wouldn't be surprised if we had some upper 20s a little farther inland. And Tuesday, also going to be a fairly chilly day. We're looking at highs mainly in the mid-50s. It's not really until Wednesday we'll start to trend a little bit warmer. Still very chilly in the morning with lows in the mid to upper 30s, but some of us may not hit the freezing mark on Wednesday morning. More cloud cover is expected on Wednesday, and it is going to be much more mild with temperatures more so in the low to mid 60s at this point. That's what I'm expecting. So Wednesday morning, especially along the coast, we're not expecting freezing temperatures. Now north of I-10, we're still going to be flirting with freezing. But by Thursday morning, things are looking much warmer than freezing, especially in the morning with lows possibly in the upper 40s and low 50s. And we will keep some of that milder air. By Friday morning, it looks like still chilly, but nowhere close to freezing at this time. So high temperatures Wednesday, Thursday, and even into Friday, likely going to be in the low to mid 60s. Note there Saturday and Sunday, big question marks regarding that. I'll go ahead and say there is a lot of uncertainty regarding the weekend forecast, not only for South Mississippi, but across the Southeast. There have been tons and tons of social media posts going around talking about the potential for another winter storm at some point in the Southern Plains or the Southeast U.S. this upcoming weekend. Will that include South Mississippi? It's just far too early to know at this time. What we are going to be watching is some colder air moving in from the north, interacting with some moisture along the Gulf Coast. At this time, I would say it's more likely that if we were to see anything out of the system, it's going to be some rain, but really all depends on how far south that colder air is going to be moving in and meeting up with the moisture. So Saturday and Sunday, a lot of unknowns at this point. There is nothing set in stone right now. If anything, it looks like areas to our north may be dealing with some of that wintry precipitation, whether that be snow or ice. For now, we are trending towards rain in South Mississippi, but of course, we will continue to monitor things as we get closer into the weekend. So again, this is just really a wait and see situation at this point. We are talking 6 to 7 days out as the system may materialize. So what we're watching, some colder air moving in from the north, interacting with some moisture moving in from the south. We may get an area of low pressure to develop closer to the Gulf Coast. This is a GFS model. This is the American model. I stopped this at noon on Saturday. Notice it shows some pink color, which indicates some wintry mix, possibly some freezing rain and some snow even north of that. For now, the GFS generally showing a better chance of rain for us. The European model also showing something similar. But again, I just want to emphasize that we are still several days out from this. You're going to be seeing a lot of things going around on Facebook, on Twitter, on social media. Just know that at least tonight and over the next, I would say 2 days or so, even maybe 3 days, still really going to be too early to pinpoint some of the exact details with this. So this is a wait and see situation. Things are trending a little bit cooler, it looks like, even for South Mississippi this weekend and into early next week by the next Monday. So we'll see how this plays out. So just keep in mind that this weekend forecast really could change from what we have right now. For now, I've dropped our high temperatures a little bit more on Sunday. If anything, it looks more like a rain event for South Mississippi, but check back in as we get closer to the weekend. We'll be able to get a better idea of this. Tomorrow morning, very confident it's going to be cold. It's already cold outside. We're staying in the 50s Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday is looking a little warmer, and the mild weather likely going to be returning by Thursday and Friday. Also want to mention, too, that Wednesday into Thursday, could see a few showers. Doesn't look like any heavy rainfall, but we do have a chance of getting a little bit of that wet weather by the middle of the week. So time now, 8:56. We will be having our 10 o'clock newscast coming up in just about an hour. I'll have another update on your forecast, what we can expect going into the week. Plus, we'll have all the latest news going on in South Mississippi. So we hope you join us at 10 o'clock.